Hi, this is Stacie, and welcome back to Coffee Talk with Stacie.
What do you want from me? I'm not America's sweetheart, so beat the drum with me.
So I wanted to start off with just a little maybe humor today since it's Hot Topic Tuesday. We all know the Cyrus family. Miley started off with Hannah Montana, and she was originally, her birth name was Destiny Hope Cyrus, and she started going by Miley because her dad used to call her Smiley Miley, and Miley just kind of stuck. So later on, she legally changed her name to Miley Cyrus and has been known since then. Well, I heard that Dad had always wanted a different name for himself. But back in the day, I guess when he, did his one-hit wonder of Achy Breaky Heart, they didn't think it was a good idea. So, they made him stick with Billy Ray Cyrus. Well, now he feels it's time that he sticks with the name he's always wanted. So from now on, he's going by Cyrus. So I'm not sure if he's going to be Cyrus or just Cyrus. Anyway, as I said yesterday, today we're going to be talking about bullying and suicide. The first thing I want to talk about is a story I read over the weekend that I found absolutely disturbing. We hear about a lot of bullying in schools all the time, and children are teasing other children and bullying them, and it gets out of control. However, this story absolutely breaks my heart. This was in Louisiana. It was an 11-year-old girl who had been bullied since the fall, basically the beginning of the year. No one would stand up for her because they were afraid of the teacher. Well, a couple of months back, Mom went to the principal and told the principal what was happening, because the teacher told the little girl that she should kill herself. The teacher told her to go kill herself. Mom went to the principal, and the principal told the mom to go to the school board, which she did. She involved the sheriff in their town. The teacher then went to 3 students and told the 3 students to fight her, and if they did not fight her, she would fail the students. Now, if I remember correctly, and I'm not 100% sure, but I think the teacher was 50 years old. 50. A middle-aged woman is telling an 11-year-old little girl to kill herself. And then she's telling other 11-year-old girls to beat up this 11-year-old girl. Well, there was an investigation, and nothing really became of it. The teacher kept at these kids and kept adding more children into this. If you don't, beat her up, I'm going to fail you. I'm going to fail you. I'm going to fail you. Well, finally, one kid went to the principal and said, listen, this is what's happening. So thank you to that little girl. Thank God for that little girl. When they found out, and the teacher's name, by the way, is, well, she's no longer a teacher. Thank God. Her name was Anne Shelvin. She was a 7th grade teacher. And they escorted her out of the building. So once she left, there was an aide who replaced her, and her name was Tracy Gallo. Well, apparently Tracy Gallo decided that she would just take on the role of Anne Shelvin. And they actually have her on video in the school gym where she is seen pushing this little girl, actually pushing her. So needless to say, she was fired. And both women are being, there's several charges against them. Whatever the charges are, however, whatever time they serve, as far as I'm concerned, it's not long enough. There's not enough charges for that. They are put in a position, in a sense of authority. They're with children. You send your child to school, and from school you expect an education and for them to be safe. You don't expect the teacher to tell your child to go kill herself, nor do you expect the teacher to threaten other children that she's going to fail them if they don't beat up this other child. I'm absolutely appalled at this story. It literally makes me sick to my stomach. I said in my intro, I have 3 daughters of my own. I have a 21-year-old, a 19-year-old, and a 13-year-old. We have dealt with bullying. It's not easy. Kids are cruel. The part of this story that sickens me is that it was the teacher. The teacher. Bullying is horrific. And what's the answer? What's the solution? How do we stop it? Well, I can tell you where it starts. I might not have a solution, but I can tell you where it starts. It starts at home, and it starts in school. And here's why. Little Johnny and little Susie are in preschool together. And little Johnny pulls little Susie's hair. And little Susie goes to the teacher and says, "Johnny pulled my hair." And the teacher says, "Now, Johnny, that's not very nice. Don't do that again." Then the next day, Johnny does it again. So Susie comes and says, "Miss Teacher, Johnny pulled my hair again." And the teacher says, "Johnny, I told you yesterday that's not very nice. Don't do that again." And day 3, it happens again. And finally, the teacher's had enough of listening to this, so she says, "Johnny, that's enough. No more." And says to Susie, "Susie, stop being a tattletale." So what have we done? What have we done? We really told Johnny that what he did really is okay. It's not nice, but it is okay. It's okay to pull her hair. It's just not really nice, and there's really no punishment. And we've told little Susie that you're not really a victim. And stop tattling. Stop telling, because I'm not going to do anything for you. I'm a teacher, and I'm an authority, and I'm not going to help you. So now here we are in high school, and Johnny is pulling Susie's hair and throwing spitballs at her and calling her a slut and doing all kinds of things. Why? Because it's okay and he's not going to get into trouble. And little Susie is not going to say anything because she was told she's a tattletale. So that's where bullying begins. How does it stop? It's time for zero tolerance to be zero tolerance. It's time for schools to step up and do something about it. It's time to stand behind your zero tolerance. I'm tired of the kids who bully, and because they have a certain last name, or because, they're a big contributor to the school, or whatever the issue is, they can get away with it. I'm tired of hearing that. My daughter went to a Catholic school, and we had a high standard for that because it was a Catholic school. And my daughter was bullied by a teacher and by students. I held them at a higher standard. And that was the worst thing we could have done, because that made it worse than public school. Bullying is not okay. Bullying leads to depression. Depression leads to suicide. Which brings me up to the next topic. There's been a big controversy over the TV series of 13 Reasons Why, which originated from the book by Jay Asher. Now, I will be honest with you, I have not seen the series. I am just starting the book. I do know that the way that Hannah Baker, who is the girl who commits suicide, the way she does it in the book is completely different than the way she does it in the TV series. And the way she does it in the TV series is very graphic. And they're making this a controversial issue because people are saying that they're glamorizing suicide. And they're not offering, some sort of mental health at the end of it, saying, I don't have a say in this because I haven't watched it yet, but I can tell you that suicide is the third leading cause of death in people between the ages of 10 and 24. 10 and 24, the third leading cause of death. Now that's a scary statistic. 10 years old. So you tell me what needs to happen. Like I said, I haven't read the book completely and I haven't watched the series, so I really don't have an opinion based on that yet. Whether or not it's, glamorizing or not. We should never glamorize suicide. Ever. But when people are so depressed and at their worst, and they feel like they have nobody left and nowhere else to go because they've been kicked down so many times and no one is there to help them up, they feel like their only option is to be gone from this world because they feel that their life is better if they weren't here. Other people think that that's a selfish decision. Well, the person who's contemplating the suicide or actually acts on the suicide, it's not selfish to them. They think that they're doing it as a selfless act because they feel that they're better off. They're leaving their loved ones in a better position. I'm scared for children today. I'm scared for them. And what scares me even more are the adults who sit back and do nothing. When you walk down the street, when you walk down that hallway at school, wherever you're walking, and you see somebody being bullied, don't keep walking. Open your mouth and say something. It's never okay. Ever. We are all different. All of us. We all have a story. It's no one's business. I shouldn't have to explain to you my business. Because it's my business. It's my story. And I shouldn't have to defend myself because you're calling me a name. I shouldn't have to do that. However, if I see someone being bullied, I will not stand by and let it happen. Because me as a person, I could not keep that in my conscience knowing that I walked by. Because you know what? The person that walks by is just as bad as the person who's being, just as bad as the person that is the bully. You're just as bad. You're allowing it to happen. Someone needs to take a stand. Let it be you. Let it be you. And if you're the kid that's being bullied and people are calling your names, there's always help out there. Go to somebody. Go to your parents. Go to a counselor. Go to somebody you can trust. There's always help. There's suicide hotlines. There's always help available. I also want you to know that you can contact me at any point at Coffee Talk with Stacie at hotmail.com. There's always someone there. And if you're the bully, the reason why you're bullying others is because you're insecure with something in yourself. And the only way that you feel better is to hurt someone else. Well, stop. Whatever it is that's bothering you, figure it out and get some help. Because you're bringing someone else down. And that's not right. It's not right. This world has enough of hatred as it is. We're at war with other countries. We all live in the same country. We live in the same communities. Why hate one another? How about trusting one another? How about loving one another? Open your eyes and see what's there. Most times you have more things in common than you ever even knew. It breaks my heart for that little girl in Louisiana. But I'm happy to know that the teacher and the assistant teacher were fired and charges were pressed against them. But everybody needs to step in like that little girl, have the courage that that little girl, that 11-year-old girl had, and take part in it. Be a part of it. Be a part of the solution. Don't walk by. Never walk by. Step in. Thank you so much for watching. Again, if you need someone to talk to, there's always somebody there. There's hotlines, there's teachers, there's your parents, there are so many people out there. I can be there for you. Coffee Talk with Stacie at hotmail.com. Please remember to like, comment, and subscribe. Thank you again so much. God bless you all, and I'll see you on Wednesday.
Do